Hello, sisters, and welcome to the Holistic Empowered Women Summit, where you can learn to live a life that is healthy, purposeful, and a liberated expression of your authentic self. Today we have with us Dr. Audrey Riley. Dr. Audrey Riley is a success coach, speaker, and best-selling author of Size Matters: How to Dream Bigger, Step into Your Personal Power, and Start Creating Your Dream Life Today. Dr. Audrey works with women who want to dream bigger and express their full potential by creating their dream business or getting their dream job. Welcome, Dr. Audrey. It's wonderful to have you with us today.
Hi, it's wonderful to be part of your summit. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's an honor. Today you're going to be talking to us about why now is the time to make your dream a reality. First off, I just want to say that I admire that you empower women to create their dream lives. That's an incredible gift. Can you tell us a little bit about your path in creating your own dream life?
Yes, when we talk about dream life, the definition of what it looks like is different for every single person. And for me, it's always been about freedom, and it was always about being able to do whatever I want to do next. So not having a lot of obligations and having a lot of choices. That's sort of what drove me to be where I am today. I was born and raised in France, and in my family, people didn't really go to college. We come from a very small town. There's a population of 20,000 people. It's very, very small. There's no university. Basically, what kids do there is they grow up, they go to school, high school, and then they find a local job, maybe do some technical training, and they stay there because it's beautiful. It's Provence. It's an incredible place, and there's not a big incentive to leave and do something else, but that wasn't my dream. My dream was to go to college. I've always loved books. I've always loved learning, and I love to fill my brain with lots of great ideas. So I went to college in France. And then I realized that my next dream was to be bilingual. And the best way to do that was to move to England. So I applied to go to college in England. I applied to get scholarships to help me along the way. And I worked to put myself through school. And that was a wonderful experience. And there was a lot of fear, uncertainty, things that I didn't know. And I was young. I was about 19 when I did that. But I did it anyway because that's what I wanted to do. So after that, I'm going to give you the short story, otherwise it would take the full half hour just for my But after my experience in the UK, I decided to go to grad school in France and do a master's degree in international business to have more opportunities to travel. So I studied for a semester in Spain. I did an internship in Italy, and I didn't even speak Italian. So just getting the internship in itself was a bit of a miracle. And then I came to California to study here as well and get my MBA. And then I just started my life here. And when I look back, it's not like I knew for sure I wanted to live in California. But as a teenager, I was watching all those American movies, things like Melrose Place, all those things that as an adult, I couldn't stand to watch because you really have to be 12 to enjoy it. But everything that looked appealing to me somehow have manifested in my life. So same thing with my career, getting a really good job, being promoted multiple times, making a great living. When you're young, it looks like 6 figures is a big deal. So getting to it in my mid-20s and just pretty much having whatever it is that I wanted. But what's been interesting is I got to a point where I was still young, but sort of at the top of my career. And that's when I decided to just start over, do something totally different, and become a coach, speaker, and author. So that was a big dream too, when I got to the point of clarity, knowing that that's what I wanted to do. People were telling me, why would you do that? You have such an established career, you make a great living. Why would you throw all that away? And I told myself, I'm young. I have 30 or 35 more years that I want to work. I'm ready for my next career, so that's what I'm going to do. So my path in creating my dream life is always asking myself, what do I really, really, really want to do? And not so much, is it logical? Is it pragmatic? Is it easy? And is it what people believe that I should do? It's listening to my heart. So that's my path. I just listen to what my heart is telling me I want to do. And then, of course, there's work and strategy and more that comes with it. But it's listening to your heart.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that wonderful message. Just, listen to your heart, and that's how you can create your dream life, right? Just listening to your heart. That's wonderful. Thank you. So what inspired you to help others create their own dream lives?
What inspired me is when you just spend time with people and you pay attention to what they're saying, you hear a lot of limitations that are just myths. When they're saying, oh, life is really hard. Well, it doesn't have to be. It's really hard to make money. Well, it doesn't have to be this way. Or, oh, I can't do this. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. The problem is whatever we believe to be true becomes true for us. And I see people all the time telling me how lucky I am. Oh, Audrey, you are so lucky. Look, this is so great. You came to California, you got a green card, now you got naturalized, you're an American citizen, you're so lucky. And I'm thinking, that's not luck. It took a lot of work. I had to hire immigration attorneys. It was stressful. There was so much that got into becoming an American. I wasn't lucky. I didn't get the green card lottery or anything like that. Same thing with my career. Oh, you're so lucky. Everything you touch turns to gold. Well, that's not lucky. There's reasons that I'm good with business. And people tell me, I hear at least once a month, you're really lucky for this. And oh, I could never do that. See, I could never do this. And that's exactly where the problem is. If you believe you can't, then you can't. It becomes your reality. But if you can shift your thinking from, I could never do this, to how can I? How will I? And you choose a more empowered approach to life. What you can do is just incredible. It's extraordinary. So when you're saying what inspired me to help others create their dream life, it's because I got really lucky, I guess, in my teen years, that I was surrounded by things that I could appreciate, but they were not what I wanted for myself. I wanted a different life. Everything I saw gave me an idea of what I don't want and what I do want. So I had a sense of direction, but I didn't have anything handed to me. So I became really resourceful, and that's how I was able to create my life. But nothing was just, it's there, so it is what it is. Everything is about making decisions and believing and trusting and doing what it takes. So if I can help people understand that they don't have to be overly ambitious, they don't have to work hard, they don't have to be or do anything specific. It's whatever they want to be, but what they really desire to be. That's doable. It's reachable. And that's my message.
That is a beautiful message and a very empowering one. Thank you for sharing that. So what do our dreams and desires really mean, and what can we do about it?
Yes. Many times people look at two things. There's reality on one hand, and then there's dreams, as if those were two completely different things. Dream is what you do when you're just thinking, daydreaming, and reality is what you have to put up with in life. And that's not true at all, because our dreams, that's our soul talking to us. That's our higher self saying, hey, pay attention. The thing that gets you excited when you're feeling passion, there's a reason. It's not just a concept. You're not watching a movie. You're living this life right now. So when we're having dreams and desires, that's giving us direction. That's telling us about our purpose. Those are messages. It's almost like getting a memo saying this is what your life is supposed to be about. So pay attention to dreams and passion and excitement and what really makes you feel alive. That's what your life needs to be about. And what can we do about it is saying, okay, so I'm acknowledging that dream, that desire, that passion, that's my purpose. So I'm going to declare that I will be serious about making it happen. So then we can create a vision, we can set goals and create a strategy, be persistent, and do all the things that it takes to make a dream reality. But understanding that it's not random what we feel, what makes us come alive. It's not random at all. It's the essence of who we are. And so many times we try to be what our parents told us, what our spouse wants us to be, or what we think society wants us to do, and it's completely misguided. The passion tells us which direction we need to take.
I love it. It's so awesome. It's like it's reminding me of that quote, don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive, because what the world needs is what makes you come alive. I love that. That's so empowering and so inspiring. Thank you. How can we dream bigger, and why should we?
I love that question. Well, first, let me tell you my definition of dreaming big, because that's what my book is about, is dreaming bigger. So It's most certainly not coming from a place of ego. It's not about greed. It's not of that. I'm not saying go be a millionaire and have your face on the cover of every magazine. That's not that at all. What I'm talking about big dream is what's important to you. So about what the dream is what's important to you. And when I say bigger, what I want people to do is to free themselves from limitations that only exist in here. The limitations aren't real. The limitations are just their perspective. So why limit ourselves if the limitations aren't real? There's no reason. If your dream brings you joy, why would you put a cap on it? Why would you say, well, I only want to be 60% happy. I'm only going to be 65% happy. Like, oh no, I don't want to be 100% happy. That's just too much happiness. I can't handle it. So when I say dream bigger, what I do with my clients is I ask them to describe, if you could just wave a magic wand and create anything that you want, what would that look like? And even when they're given freedom and permission to dream big and to feel free in designing really what their dream looks like, there's still certain limitations. So then I ask them, and if it was even better, what would it look like? And if you felt even happier, what would that be like? And we're expanding that vision, because wherever you set the bar is the highest you'll go. So if you create a dream that makes you 50% happy, you're only going to be 50% happy. But if you can dream bigger and really give yourself permission, how could life be even more exciting? How could I be even more fulfilled? What would warm my heart? What feeds my soul? How can I have more of that in my existence? And when we get into that place of giving ourselves full permission to dream bigger and not just say, well, who am I to think I can do that? Or all those limitations need to just fall to the wayside, because again, whatever you're aiming for is as high as you'll go. So when you aim higher, you have a better chance of doing something that's much more in line with your true potential and what you're really capable of doing.
I love that. Thank you. It's so inspiring. How can we reduce fear and stress by living an authentic life?
I very strongly believe that when we don't live an authentic life, that's where we have a lot of stress and fear, frustration and regret. Think about it. When you don't give yourself permission to be who you are, if you're playing small, if you are not acknowledging what your true desires are, if you are denying what your soul is telling you, if you live in a place of fear, if you let fear drive your decisions, drive your goals, drive the way you talk to people, drive the way you interact, your relationships, if you let that playing small and repressing your true nature, if you let that drive your life, it's going to create an enormous amount of stress. And you see so many people these days being on antidepressants and needing medication and seeing doctors and even having autoimmune diseases and all sorts of illnesses and adrenal fatigue. And so much is coming from excess stress. Why? Because they're not living in their truth. Because they're feeling obligations because of their work, because of their life, their relationships, a variety of things, but they're very constricted. And when we don't allow ourselves to be who we are and we just put up with obligations, we're constantly allowing others to make decisions for us. There's so much pain that comes from that. But instead, if we find the courage to say, I'm going to be me, and I love me, and I know some people don't like it, but I'm sorry. I genuinely am sorry if someone doesn't like me, but it's really not my problem. It's really theirs. Because you can't change yourself to be a person that will be loved and appreciated by everyone, no matter who you are, what you do. There's always going to be the haters that are going to hate it, the lovers who are going to love it, and then people who resonate with you and people who don't. So when we always try to make ourselves different from who we really are, we lose. 100% of the time we lose. There's no winning in altering the beauty of who you really are. So that's why being authentic is so, so important, because that's how you live a liberated life. And that's where you get to really step into your power. You get to shine and inspire others and make people want to be themselves as well. You're showing that it's safe. You're showing that it's the first step towards being successful is just embracing who you are.
I love that. Thank you. And that's such a very powerful message. And sometimes it can be really hard, you know, to have the courage to do that and to let go of that fear that prevents you from authentic living and to not care what anyone thinks, you know, because especially a lot of us carry that from our childhood, from things that from things people have said to us that have been traumatic from growing up or that we've carried with us into our adulthood and that have created patterns of the way we interact with people. And so I personally have gone through a really long journey of knowing my self-worth and authentically expressing myself. So I really thank you for doing such powerful work because it really is important to do. And that's what's going to really help, set all of us free is when we have the courage to do that. And I appreciate that you're a guide for women to know their self-worth and to not be afraid to own it. So thank you. What are some key mindset shifts that we need to make to transition to authentic living?
I think the number one key is to understand that who you are, the way that you are, is perfect. And most people don't see that. And I used to be extremely critical of myself and even other people. When people say, oh, I love everyone else, I'm only critical of myself, it's not true. We're critical or we're not, or we're accepting, but we can't be both. And I always wanted to do more, perform better, be better. So anything I did 99% correctly, I would focus on the 1% that wasn't perfect. And that drove me crazy in my 20s. I was very much out of balance. What is my biggest lesson in my early 30s was, no, wait, there's no accident. The way I am is the way I need to be. This is the way I'm supposed to be. So that's the first key mindset shift in the mindset, is understanding that you are not supposed to be different. If you were supposed to be something else, you would be something else. Every person has a different path, a different experience, a different set of experiences. We were raised in different cultures by different people, and we were all exactly who we're supposed to be. So never comparing ourselves with someone else. And what's funny when you work as a coach is that I have a lot of clients who are incredible people, amazing, empowered, successful, and people on the outside will see them as being a role model because they have it together and they have all those things. And they will just assume, okay, that person must have no problem. They have no fear. They have no challenge. And it's not true at all. They are successful because they're doing something about it. But they're still human beings. They're still having their own struggles. Sometimes you'll see someone who's doing amazing in business and you love who they are and you love their charisma and their big heart and you're looking at them thinking, wow, how awesome would it be to be that person? And then when you get to know them personally, you may find out that they're having a teenage kid who perhaps is dealing with drugs or making some really poor decisions, and they have heartache too. They have pain too. Maybe their sister just died. I mean, everybody goes through life. Everybody has their own stuff. So when we're looking at ourselves and telling ourselves, I'm flawed, I'm not good enough, I should be more like so-and-so, the more I work with a variety of people, the more it's so clear to me that everybody has their stuff. Nobody is living a life where everything is easy at every second and there's no negative, well, not negative emotions, I don't like to say this, but we all have our stuff, but we've got to accept it because there's beauty in it. There's even beauty in our flaws. There's even beauty in our imperfections. And when we can embrace all of it and understanding that, you know what, I'm okay, you're okay, it's all good, really, we're fine. So that's what I would call the biggest shift in mindset, is understanding that you don't have to be someone else. If you were ever to compare yourself to something else, it should be who you are today to who you want to be in a year or in 2 years. When you can connect with that future self, when you can connect with that vision of who you want to become, what do you want to learn, what do you want to change, then that's fine. But you're comparing yourself to yourself just in time. You're never comparing yourself to someone else. And I think that's the most important thing with the mindset, is you got to be who you are. I'm trying to go back to your question, see if you were asking for several. You were saying key mindset shifts. So that's definitely the top one. But understanding how powerful we are is also very, very important. Life doesn't just happen to us. We are co-creators of our lives. So we're never powerless unless we choose to feel that we are, and then we give up. But there's so much power. We can do and be anything that makes us happy.
Definitely. Thank you. What an empowering and powerful message. I got shivers when you were talking there. Yeah, it's so empowering for to hear you say like all those things about, you are who you are, and if you were meant to be something else, you would be something else, but you are who you are. And I think that's really important mindset shift, especially when so many of us can be stuck in like comparison mode, right? And, just knowing that everyone has their own battles, and that you have your own and they're your lessons. And there's beauty in that. Like you said, they're yours, nobody else's, right? So thank you for that. That was incredibly empowering to hear you say. So thank you. How can we have the courage and motivation to follow our passions and our dreams?
It starts by shaking off and removing, deleting all of the programming we received as we grew up, because it's all just beliefs. That when we stop embracing those beliefs, we become all powerful. So how do we find the courage and motivation? So I'll start with the motivation, because that's where it starts. It starts with a really strong vision about what you want to create. When you just have that vague notion, I kind of would like to be this, but I'm not allowing myself to dream. I'm not allowing myself to feel because it's too scary. From that place, nothing's going to be created. But when you say, okay, it's safe, okay? It's safe. We're just going to dream right now. It's completely safe. What is my dream really going to look like? And you create that vision with as much detail as you can, and you ask yourself, how do I want to feel? How do I want my life to change? Once you're creating that vision of that dream you really want to make your reality, and you're starting to feel today as if you had already created that dream, that's where your motivation is going to start, because it's going to be compelling. You've got to create that vision of a compelling future. When it's really, really, really compelling, you get your motivation, and then you're ready to get started. But then you're asking about courage as well. The way I look at life, I know it's not common for most people, but I can't stand the concept of living with regret. So if I look at what happens if I do, what if I don't? So if I do, and it's harder than I thought, and I don't get to my goal as quickly as I thought, it's still okay. It's fine. And even if I get to a point where I realize, yeah, maybe it wasn't such a great idea, and I redirect myself towards something bigger and better, that's fine too. I feel like when you go for what you really want, there's really not that much to lose. But on the other hand, if you're saying, no, there's too much fear, I just can't do this, and I'm just not going to, then you are 100% sure to be in pain. You are absolutely guaranteed to be suffering from playing small, from not developing your full potential, from not acknowledging your dreams. It's almost like you're in an abusive relationship with yourself.
Oh.
Because if you look at what you're telling yourself when you're saying, no, you can't have that. You can't do that. No, we're not going to take that risk. That thing you want, you can't have it. It's basically an abusive relationship. If you did this to your best friend, they wouldn't be your friend anymore. They would say, what's the matter with you? How like this? And that's what we do all the time. So in my opinion, there's so much more to risk when we play small than when we actually go big. So the courage can come from that, from just looking at the two and saying, what's safer? I see settling as extremely risky, because I see people having to numb their feelings through alcohol, through food, distraction, sex, whatever that is, because they're needing to be in avoidance. They don't want to know, they don't want to see, they don't want to acknowledge, they're in denial, avoidance. Those are terrible emotions and really low vibrations. So what they're going to create with that is not good. That's where the risk is. Now, when you step into your personal power and you say, I am all powerful over my own life, and I'm going to love myself, listen to what I really want, and I will make it happen. What are the risks? The risk is I'm going to learn, I'm going to grow, I'm going to meet people, I'm going to have new experiences. It's going to be fun, and there's days where it's going to be terrifying, and there's days that are going to be really tough, but it doesn't matter, because there's so much more joy. It's about making life interesting, making life exciting, and just honoring your authentic self. Being who you want to be, because this is already who you are. You just have to remove all the programming that tells you that you can't.
I love it. Thank you. You're so empowering. I love it. So what are your 3 key elements to manifest miracles in our lives and live our purpose?
That's a great question. I like the word miracle because sometimes, well, you can choose to look at life as everything is a miracle, nothing's a miracle, but then we have our logical mind looking at what's likely, what's unlikely, almost like statistically. What are the chances that this will work, that
Yeah.
this will not work? And I don't really believe in, if 90% of people cannot do this, it means I can't. It's like, no, I'm me. There's no statistics on me because I haven't tried yet. So I have to have my own experience. So yes, we can manifest miracles. We can manifest whatever we want. And what I would call the three key elements. So the first one starts with vision. Nothing happens without that vision. We need that clarity to know exactly what we want, why we want it, how we want to feel, what it's going to look like. It needs to be compelling and there needs to be clarity. And every day we have to be focused on it. It's important to be reminded constantly so we don't lose focus of where we want to go and what the vision really is. So number one, vision, extremely important. Number two, strategy. Because we're still living in a physical world. We're more than a physical body, but we're living a reality of living in a physical world with physical rules and things that are happening here. So that's where we live. We have to have a strong strategy, understanding, okay, what is it going to take? But then strategy is not enough. You got to implement it, of course. So strong strategy, strong implementation, very strong mindset. You have to know that you're capable and you have to know you're resourceful. And yes, you are courageous. And the last piece is the metaphysical aspect to all of it. In the past, sometimes I would work with clients who don't believe in anything other than what they can see. And I had to respect that because I'm not here to change someone's beliefs. I'm here to help them get wherever they want to go. But over the time, I realized I don't want to work with clients who don't believe in anything beyond what they can see because they're missing out. There are universal laws like the law of attraction. We know that we're all connected to that giant energy field. We know everything is energy. And we know there's more than what the eye can see. So when we are ready to embrace metaphysics and we're ready to understand how powerful our thoughts really are, how to use the law of attraction and all essential laws of the universe to manifest what we want. And if we have any kind of belief, I'm not going to say, those beliefs are good, those are bad. It doesn't matter what terminology we use, but if we have a feeling of something greater than us that exists, it gives us so much power too, because then you're never alone. If you believe in guides, you have a team there for you. If you have deceased loved ones and you believe they're around and helping you, that's a great help too, because they have such a bigger perspective and they can give you energy and guidance and talk to you through your emotions. And that makes you so much more powerful. So some people are successful with just one aspect or two or three, but one or two. But when you have all three together, that's where you can do miracles. It's having that vision, mindset, vision and mind. Well, I would put vision and mindset sort of together. When you have your vision, but you also know that you can. It's not just a dream. You're perfectly capable of doing this. Knowing how to use your mind for your own advantage. Knowing how to think empowered thoughts. Really knowing how to be an empowered person. Having the strategy, implementing the strategy, but believing there's something bigger and calling, asking for help with the divine as well. That's what makes us so powerful, having the three.
I love it. Thank you. What a powerful message to share with us. Thank you. So we're coming to the end of our interview. Can you tell our sisters about the free gift you have to share with us?
Yes, sisters, I'm excited for you. I haven't met you, but I know you have a dream. And I know there is something that you want to create in your life. I know you're ready to dream bigger, and hopefully this interview today got you motivated because you understand you are capable and you are all powerful. So my gift for viewers today, I would love for them to get started on their own dream. I am offering the first few chapters of my book, Size Matters, How to Dream Bigger, Step into Your Personal Power, and Create Your Dream Life Today. I'm sure there will be a link people can click, get the first few chapters right away. They can start reading right away. So now that you're excited, keep that momentum. Read and start to do the work on creating your vision, dream bigger, and feel how that feels. And I hope that you will continue, you will follow through, and you will create your dream life because you can.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that powerful gift of helping our sisters create our dream lives. How can we best stay in touch with you?
Well, email works great. It's Audrey at audreyriley.com. Are we going to post a link for that as well?
Yeah, we're gonna have the link to all your information and the free gift down there.
Well, email is most certainly the best way because I don't answer the phone if I don't have an appointment. Usually I'm with clients or I'm writing or I'm speaking or so email is definitely the best way to reach me, or social media too. They can see on my website the links to all of my social media. And it's fun too, staying inspired and just encouraging the world to step up. And again, it's not about greed and ego. It's about fulfillment. It's about you know, what's meaningful to you, what's your dream, and let's do it.
Thank you. Well, it's wonderful to have you on the summit, and it was an honor to host you. And thank you, sisters, for joining us on today's Holistic Empowered Women Summit, where you can learn to live a life that is healthy, purposeful, and a liberated expression of your authentic self. Stay tuned for more speakers, and have a beautiful day.